Welcome back to another episode of the Four Elements United. I am your host, and I am Water.
Earth.
I'm Wind.
Fire.
So somebody's got some feedback, so you guys gonna have to fix that. Like, let's go.
No, we're good. Go ahead.
Let's get our act together, man. What you do? Oh, that must be you, Win. He's the one that's like, we good. Oh my God. Bad news bears over here. We're late. Show's only gonna be 30 minutes. All kind of things are happening, but we're gonna still make it work. Tonight's show is what habits do we have to change? And this is gonna be a lightning round. I was just talking to these guys before the show. They like to talk. I mean, come on. Like which one of you is gonna talk the longest tonight is the question. That is the question. I should just let you run. It's gonna be you?
It's gonna be you.
Yeah.
You're already starting. Well,
You already
pass
started.
the mic, bro.
60 seconds and they still like, yeah, I know. If this was you hosting, when like it would be 8 minutes in and you still like, so what we really gonna talk about tonight. All right. So anyway, so what I want to do, guys, is I want to start out by last week I had mentioned we talked about books. And last week I mentioned the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Huge book, instrumental in my life. And I thought it would be appropriate apropos to talk about and discuss the habits that each of us individually want to change. So none of that people need to change stuff. I'm not going to call out any names who might be, saying that. But none of that stuff. We're talking about the habits that the elements, have to change, because we want the elementals to get a sense of looking in the mirror and seeing what they may have to change by looking at what you have to change. So who's up first? You know what? Hold on. Before we go there, let's keep it short because we got a hard stop. It's going to be a less than 30 minute show. So we got a hard stop, and I want to kind of run around the horn multiple times. So who's going to go first? What habit? One habit, single habit. You don't have to go through the gambit. What one habit do you have to change? Let's start with that. Don't get into why, when, what, who, how, any of that stuff. We're going to run around the horn and do that. All right? What habit?
Set us off, bro.
Well, I mean, when I was a shorty, back in the day, Nah, so it's interesting you say this. I know it's one habit, but since I've been on my journey, I've actually had to change a lot of habits. And so when I saw the title, I was like, okay, what's one habit I have to change? I need to change. And I would have to say, it's not always knowing when to say no. That's short and sweet, so I'll leave it there.
Man. Let me scratch that one off my list.
It could be yours. Whoa. You may have a long list.
Nah, it's short. I'm going to go with presence. Guys. Presence.
It's being present.
My habit is that I'm always, some people are past-minded. I'm future-oriented. So I'm always thinking about the destination or the goal tomorrow, the next day, instead of like really, really enjoying the heck out of the now.
One of the habits that I need to break for myself is doing things alone, not necessarily trusting other people to collaborate, cooperate and to add on to what I got going on and support me.
Now, for anybody who didn't think the elements could be brief, woo, man, look at that. Oh my God. I mean, we're talking like 20 seconds of drivel coming out of these guys. So this is amazing. I also have a lot of habits that I want to change, that I think that I need to change, that I know that need to change. My biggest one that I would say I need to change is I need to get better at getting out of my routines. You guys know me. I'm all about my routines, and I'm not good with spontaneity. So when I say I'm not good with spontaneity, that throws me completely off, throws me into a loop where I'm lost. Like I can't be productive. I would say when I say I'm lost. So that's my habit that I need to change. Now let's go back. Whoever wants to talk about and get into the why that habit. Why do you need to change that particular habit?
So I'll go ahead and start first. One of the reasons why I need to change that habit is because no man is an island, and one of the things that I learned is that to get things done of great substance, you need the cooperation and collaboration of other people. Nobody does anything of significance by themselves. And one of the things that I got in the last decade or so is that the reason why I was behaving in that manner is because I was disappointed when something didn't occur that I wanted to occur. Somebody said no, or somebody dropped the ball, or somebody just, like I said, this disappointed me. And I decided, in that moment that I would do whatever I needed to do of significance by myself and not ask nobody. And I know that that's not an effective way of living, an effective way of being. Most, like I said, efforts of significance happen with a team. I'll pause right there.
Woo! So thank you, Wind. Thank you. So elementals out there, for those of you who joined, or even if you're watching this later, I mean, like, how many people can relate to that? Just doing stuff by yourself. You're like, you know what? I can just go ahead and get this knocked out myself. Like, or I'm gonna go do that by myself because, I mean, you can't really count on people. I mean, who's been there? I know I have. I know I have. Fire, Earth. What do you guys? The why? The why that habit?
Well, for me, it would have to be a couple of reasons. So I'm gonna see if I can make it as brief as possible because we're on a brief kick tonight. For me, it would have to be there are times where I need to be a no because I can't accommodate everybody. Now, what I get is that I can be a no in the moment and a yes in the next moment. Meaning, I can say no, not now, and say next week or 2 weeks from now or something like that. And so I used to think that, if I was a no, that meant like it was not possible for it to happen at all. And so actually being able to look at the no and still be a no, but understand I don't have to be if I say no, that doesn't mean no forever. That makes sense. It's just no in the moment. I don't have the space right now, really. And so being able to look and see how can I have a no be accommodating and still, be able to be who I am and, be of service to people at the same time. So, yeah, that's it.
I love that. So anybody who knows this guy, all you gotta do is go back and ask him the next day. Hey, so can I get that? That loan that's gonna drain your bank account. He might say yes. He might say yes. Oh man, fire with the no, but that was good. That was good, Earthman. I think that for those who struggle with no, that's not something that I struggle with. But I think for the people who do struggle with saying no, I think that's really, really powerful because there's a lot of people who struggle with that, and who wants to be rude, who wants to actually let people down. So, for those of you who, how many people can look in the mirror and see that one? Fire.
Well, I this may sound like, of course, fire, duh, but It's actually more recently I began to realize how my occurrence of life was really driven by vision and then goal attainment. And how I can remember milestones and goals being attained all the way back to I was 2 years old. Like, and my wife goes, how do you remember that? Because I had an idea or a desire of something that I wanted, and then I made it happen. What I missed my whole life is that life actually is the process. Like the journey of life is actually what occurs between idea and and that thing being realized. Like that's where life is, not the realization. And so it's important for me to embrace the process, enjoy the process, smell the roses, because bro, I blinked, man. I was holding my youngest daughter at 1.5 years is gonna be 23. It's like it happened it felt like it happened overnight. And at 40 going on 41, I feel like my life was a blink of an eye. I'm at almost at halftime, Lord willing, and it's like passed me by. So I want to take in, not just be great at ideation and making it happen, but also just enjoying the process and having fun with the process in each moment instead of being fixated on the outcome. Like I've been missing it. I had not wrong, but I had a mental paradigm that wasn't allowing me to smell the roses. And this I've been traveling more lately, bro. Just disconnecting and detaching from the world and just being present, putting my phone. A real blessing. I'll pause there.
Man, that's powerful, bro. I mean, what you just said, I mean, I heard it. I could see it so clearly. This guy was 2 years old and he had the vision that I'm going to be able to talk pretty soon. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get to it. And then it was.
This guy was, like, 2 years old, like, man, I'm going to be able to walk. You had that vision. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. No, but it's,
I think I can. I think I can.
He had the little, the little train that could or whatever, man. That's powerful though. What you're saying about taking that time away, because I think it goes fast and it goes slow, right? I mean, it goes fast when you reminisce, like, man, it seems like yesterday when that happened. However, I mean, there's some times where, it's like, oh man, that was a long time ago, right? Think about when we did our show together, where us three, right? And we had Win on with it. Like, it seems like that was a long time ago. Was that this year or was that last year?
This year.
Wow. Yeah.
So it seems like last year to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Me too.
So I think that has two, that coin has two sides, right? Like like when you think about, God, man, this seems like that was yesterday. And then sometimes you look back, you're like, man, was that 3 years ago? Like, no, man, that was 2 months ago. That was 2 months ago. But I do like where you're going. I mean, I think everyone can look and relate to that one. What you got, Win? I see you over there.
I mean, I think you like to talk, bro.
I do.
I see. You like the sound of your voice.
I like to hear myself.
I see.
No better music in the world than this voice right here. Woo!
I see. Did you share yours? Did you say your why? And
yeah, I was elaborating. I mean, I was trying to acknowledge my man. Like, I understand that you know.
Yeah, I heard the acknowledgement.
Part of your shtick is that you don't want to be acknowledged, but everyone's gonna get a little acknowledgement, even though we got short little time. So mine. Look, I'm kind of like Fire. Mine is similar to his, but by me staying in my routines, that means that I'm missing out on opportunities. So the why I have to, get more spontaneous and be able to function in my life like that is because there's just opportunities that are passing by. Same thing that Fire's talking about, like of traveling more and, he's putting his phone down, even though you guys know I don't really do social at all. never have, just not my thing. It really does it. So if Fire were in town and he were like, hey, let's go grab a bite to eat tonight at 10 p.m. I'm like, whoa, bro, 10, bro, I got stuff to do tomorrow. I have stuff to do. Do you want to see my to-do list? But instead of that, just actually making it work and still getting my things done. For me, I think that's really, really why I need to change.
Yeah, like when you spontaneous and you open to life, like something magical could happen in that moment. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So anybody looking in the mirror, some people are really spontaneous. So some people might not be able to relate to that. They're like, dude, they're like, I hate people like you. You repulse people like you repulse me or whatever. But a lot of people can relate where, they just get into that routine and you get your things done, you get your stuff done, get it knocked out. Productivity.
Our most magical moments as a crew was, spontaneous. Just totally unplanned. Like we used to be on the phone for hours and hours, and none of us planned for that. But we moved the ball forward in our lives because of those conversations.
Significantly.
Yeah.
I'll say this: listening to water, I'm just trying it on, and I think for me, life reveals to us when we're out of balance. So let me give you a real example. I was spontaneous. Like in my relationship, I was the spontaneous one. As my plate got fuller, I took on more and more responsibilities. I became less and less spontaneous. To Water's point, like I gotta go. Just like I gotta go in 9 minutes. We gotta get we gotta. And so
deliverables. You got deliverables.
Deliverables, man. Then I started to feel like a cyborg or a robot where I'm driven and I'm living and dying by my calendar and the to-do list. And then it's like, where's the life? Where's the living in that? And then I fall back. And then life shows me, all right, now it's time to tighten. It's time to tighten up again because stuff's getting a little out of control. And then I go back into cyborg mode. And so I just want to call out how dynamic life is. And none of these states are steady and stagnant and fixed. And just allowing ourselves to be with where we are without judgment and self-judgment and condemnation, and extending ourselves some grace is a beautiful thing. When we first start talking, there was a lot of judgment. It's like it had to be one way or the other. It was black and white. It was this extreme integrity. And if you wasn't in 100% integrity, that was like the new sin when we first started building our relationship as brothers. And we've come to this point where we can be with whatever it is that we're dealing with and not like make it mean the end of the world and beat ourselves up about it. I think it's a beautiful thing to watch our evolution.
Yeah, it is. And things change over time. So I think that the key is for people to just be able to see themselves in these things. For me, that's what my purpose is with this show, is to be able to see yourself in one of us, because all four of us have things we know we need to change. And that brings me to the next question, which is what happens if you don't change this habit?
You don't get what you ultimately want and desire.
Well, let's talk about you specifically. Let's put it on for you. You put it on in wind, and I.
Yeah. So speaking from the I, if I continue to operate as if I'm alone or on an island, the big projects that I envision won't get done, or it'll be done in a less efficient manner. It'll take decades and decades and forever, or it might never get done, So I know for a fact that I had to, enroll other people into the vision and have them collaborate, to get it done.
Nice. I like that. Earth, fire. What happens if you don't change this habit?
Yeah, if I don't change, like for me, it's more so managing the no. Right? If I don't start managing the no, then as my life expands, then it doesn't mean that I'll expand. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yep. Dang, that's
Mic
to
drop.
yeah, because that's to piggyback that. If I don't change, I'm a dead man walking. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, pretty much.
It doesn't matter if I'm making twice as much or 6 times as much as I was making 5 years ago. If I'm if I'm not present,
Right.
you know what I mean? I'm not living. I'm just doing. There's no being. I'm doing and having. Look at my fruit, but there's no being. And life occurs in the being. And yeah, man, I'm a dead man walking, bro. If I don't change.
Wow. Nice. All those are nice. And so if I don't change, then I am just going to be old and set in my ways. How many people out there either feel like a dead man walking, where you're just like, man, like I will never have lived my life because, I never was in the moment. Or how many people right now, you're just stuck in your, like, there's no, this is just the way that it is. This is how everyone else is. I mean, imagine when, if he doesn't, that'll be a lonely life. Imagine Earth saying yes to everything, Fire, just, like his wife is like, oh my God, look at this beautiful bouquet. He's like, I don't see bouquets. My nose doesn't function, or whatever it is, right? So, and like I said, I'll be stuck in my ways. And so I don't think any of us four want to be that. And more importantly, if any single person can watch this and reflect upon themselves to say, you know what, wow, I need to take a look in the mirror myself because that one really resonates with me, then this little short show that we did is well worth it. Well worth it. So we got a comment, I mean, is that you want to pull that up, Fire, or?
Yeah, somebody pull up Danny's last comment.
Because
in the interest of time, the last one. So Danny from Facebook, shout out to Sister Danny, says, that's why I started traveling, leaving jobs and relationships because I wasn't living. I was late to life. Ooh, there's a lot there. Let's try to hit it. I would try to hit that in 20 seconds. Look, I get it. Kudos to you for the courage to leave these jobs where there was no fulfillment and these relationships where there was no fulfillment. But I would challenge the last part. I get it because I'm there. Like I'm right there with you, but you're right on time. Consider you are right on time, sis. We are right on time. You're just speaking my life right there. We are right on time.
Yeah, no such thing as late. That's a relative term, and look at all four of us. We have at least one thing that we need to change, and every single person on the planet has at least one thing to change. It's just one of the things that we as elements like to do is we like to share with you guys because, I mean, let's be honest, vulnerability is not something that men prefer to do. And so for me, being able to do this was something that I had to change because there was a time when I would have been like, dude, I'm not telling anybody like I'm not perfect. What are you talking about? No way I'm doing that. On the internet? Are you serious? On video where they can see my face and see the suffering that I deal with on that? No. So that's that. Well, and that is the show, y'all. Up next is who?
Earth, I believe.
Is it Earth?
It's me?
On the sheet. On the call sheet.
You're up next, Earth. What do we got next week?
I don't know.
Take a deep breath.
Man, that's gonna be the deepest show ever, right there.
Don't listen to that guy. Don't listen to Win. Don't pull a Win. You got it. You got it. What are we talking about next week?
Oh man, I just haven't decided because there's some things that are really cool that I've gotten on this particular trip, and I haven't decided like what I would like to discuss. There's a hot topic I want to discuss, but I want to be present when I discuss it because it's like 1 a.m. here, and I'm just not totally present. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pull a win this week.
Oh my
there
goodness.
you go.
Oh,
Get like
my-
me.
I'm gonna have to pull a win this week. As a matter of fact, I may.
The
You know
elements
what?
are digressing. The elements are digressing.
No.
It's coming.
I will actually have a conversation about are you present to your mortality? Something like
that.
I
Wow.
like it.
Yeah.
Wind is by himself again over there. Look at him.
On the
Man.
island.
Solo. Yes. By himself again. Solo. The Lolo. Okay, great.
Stand strong on it, bro.
There you go.
There you go.
Bam.
Boom. So that's it. Earth, you
Peace
want to
and
take us
blessings,
out?
everybody.
Yeah, so next week we will talk about are you present to your mortality? And I want you to really think about that. Just a quick moment. And think about over the next week, what do you plan for? Do you plan for what is really important? But think about it in the context of your mortality. Think about it from that perspective.
Got it.
That's a totally different way to view it. So yeah, so that's all I got. So that next week, we're gonna have a hot show next week, and I'll make sure I'm well rested, present, so that we can knock this thing out. But that's all we got for tonight. See y'all next week. Peace.
Peace, everybody.
Until next week.